Yo, chat. My face tracking is not working. Okay, take 3. Yo, chat. We are doing the gloves review part 2. Look at that. Look at that. Individual display chat. Alright, whatever, regardless. I say part 2 because the first one's kind of. That might be a problem. Just a guess. Good news is the contact points just touch each other. Broke, and then it influenced me to buy the new ones, which honestly I was kind of looking into anyways because of all the new features. So this is my review of the Reality XR gloves from StretchSense that are currently more expensive than I bought them for because yeah, they're not pre-orders anymore. But yeah, let's do this. The first thing I'm gonna talk about is that I'm not only gonna, review them, but I also, I want to compare them to the previous ones, the studio gloves, which are obviously more expensive. But now that the pre-orders for these ones are over, they're not as expensive. Compared, they're both expensive, but like they're not that far off from each other. Oh my god. Okay, so first thing I noticed is let's compare. Or let's see what you get in the box. All right. So you get the gloves. You get the mounts. You get the case for the gloves, obviously. Cleaning bag, some instructions, cables, and a little charging dock. And the charging dock looks kind of weird. It's because they made it so you could take out the little modules and put them on that little magnetic shit. And it starts fucking charging. It's great. Alright, it's really cool. I think it's a good idea. And they're reversible. So, one module doesn't have to go with one glove. You just slap it in any glove. Pretty simple. The battery on those seems to be, who knows? I don't know. I haven't killed them yet. Definitely less than the studio ones from my testing, but I mean, these have a lot more features and more sensors, haptics, so there's definitely more things to use up the battery on these ones, so it's kind of understandable. Um, but yeah, so that you get all this shit in the box. How do you set them up? All right. Now, compared to the studio gloves, this setup process is insanely easy compared to the studio gloves, whereas the studio gloves had like hand engine, and then they had the SteamVR software, and then they had the dongle kind of stuff. There's like multiple components to it, but these ones you literally just charge the shit, put the modules in there, turn them on, and then that's pretty much it. You once you open the XR software, there's one software. You open it, they should connect, and if they don't, you just go to the settings and pair them. Obviously, I'm gonna have on-screen footage for this, but yeah, it's relatively simple. The Bluetooth usually once it's how Bluetooth works is once it's paired, it remembers that they're paired, so it should automatically just pair every time you open the app from then on, unless you fuck something up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You just do a simple calibration. It's one animation, not 6, or I don't remember how many the the fucking the other ones had. It was like not that it was multiple. You had to do like this. You had to do thumb shit. There's a bunch of different animations, but now you just do this like kind of like cornea like weird ass shit. You just go like, and then you like spread your shit. You put your shit here, and then you like do something with your thumb. I don't remember, but I'm gonna show you the animation of me actually doing it with my hands and shit. But yeah. So, yo, I'm low-key kind of rushing this, but I'm just excited because these gloves are like peak as fuck, and they changed the experience for everything, just in general. In terms of tracker mounting, it's pretty much the same. Where there's a little bracket that goes on top of the module, and then the tracker screws onto that. Except the difference is there's no floppy woppy weird ass shit. I mean, you could see just from me doing this here. It's very secure compared to the previous gloves. Um, I did have it kind of like fly across the room once. Um, but I mean, you could probably just put another washer in there to tighten the connection. Um, but yeah, tracker setup same as the studio gloves. You just get two trackers, set them to left and right hand. Should just work fine. In terms of aesthetics and comfortability, the materials on the studio gloves were a lot more smooth, whereas these ones I feel like are more like paracordy. I don't really know how to explain it. It's definitely like a more stretchy material, but it's also grippier. Like it stays in your hand better. The knuckles on these gloves go further up your finger, above the knuckle, above like your top joint, whereas the studio gloves stopped at that joint. So hence that there's more sensors in this. That's probably why it extends longer. I did notice that the studio gloves have better finger bending because it bends both of the fingers a little bit differently. Um, I don't know if it's just like a software thing or if, I don't. It's pretty hard to explain, but the fingers just felt a little more different on the studio gloves, whereas these ones are more consistent. So I feel as if they have the hardware capability to match the studio gloves, but since these are so new, they're kind of just there, not there yet. I mean, the display isn't even officially released. I'm in like a beta test for it, so yeah. Um, so other than that, um, the rubberized stretching material is pretty much the same. The bottom of the glove is pretty much the same. It just has some rubber grips and a pattern. You know, I changed up the color scheme a little bit, but relatively the same. Um, the thumb feels a little bit better. I don't know why. I just specifically noticed the thumb is like different. At least for me, it feels different. Um, yeah, they definitely feel a lot tighter. And I did get a smaller size, so that's probably why I'm feeling like that. But I feel like they overall would fit tighter in general because the material is different. It's a lot more comfortable. Um, so because it's more comfortable and tighter, I feel like the consistency is a lot better than the studio glove in that way. I don't really know what else to say. Oh yeah. So a couple problems I had was one being there was this weird lagginess to it. Now there is noticeably, delay compared to the studio gloves. Maybe because these are Bluetooth and those had a dongle. I have no idea, but I just feel like these have a little bit more delay, which doesn't bother me too much. But the lag is what was bothering me, and the lag was reduced and essentially fixed. I mean, it's still there, but it's definitely less, and I feel like it could be fixed with software. But what I did was, even though my motherboard is pretty new Bluetooth, I guess it's just not the best because I bought like a 5.3 Bluetooth adapter with like an actual antenna, not one of those shitty little dongles. And it seemed to improve the performance by just using that Bluetooth adapter rather than my onboard motherboard's Bluetooth. So, other than that, I really haven't had any other issues other than me not liking the joystick feature because I can't get it to fucking work consistently. So I just use VR chat's movement. like this and like this. But other than that, I genuinely I think these are a lot better than the studio gloves, and I can justify the price a lot more. Um, Now they are kind of expensive now because I got it for a discount because I already owned the studio gloves on top of a discount of it being a pre-order. But I mean, I still had to pay like $100 something tariff fee, so whatever. So whereas me getting it for like 350, 400, it's now like 6 or 700 because of the normal price, plus you're probably gonna have to pay some sort of tariff fee, I'm assuming. Um, but yeah, fuck that shit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just guessing. Um, Other than that, it's yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, I'm gonna show some uh footage of me playing in game just to like kind of show some shit, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck to say. All right, so let me double check. We're in first person. Yep. Okay, so we're in first person now, so you can see. Now this avatar's fingers are a little bit fucky wucky, and I haven't necessarily fixed them, but you know you can see the actual tracking. It's good. It's good. And one of my favorite things to do is just actually clap, or you know, give your ass a good slap. That's always nice to do. Give the grippers a good lick. It's good. Yeah, you know. Fuck you. And I can even wiggle it. I can wiggle the little fingers. I can wiggle them. There's definitely some delay with this display update, but I mean, based off of just how simple the calibration is, I mean, it's pretty freaking good if you ask me. Yeah, so this is my movement, is I'm just using VR chat's little, like, weird ass shit where you do this, and then you do this. Yeah, I have space drag as this, and then the reset is that. Steam menu is pinky to thumb like that, and then circle menu. Oh, interesting. It's just, So oh, there we go. I don't know what was making it do that, but yeah, now it works. See, you can see. You can see. Grip is obviously just, you know, gripping something. Because what other bind would you make it? So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty used to, you know, using them, in a relatively fast motion because of the, uh, using the studio gloves for so long. But, yeah. Other than that, that is pretty much it for the review. I don't really have anything else to say. Good job, Stretch Sense. Keep making, good stuff. Yeah, compared to some other gloves on the market, which honestly there isn't that many gloves on the market, these are pretty freaking good. Considering that they're also gloves that are completely free from any joystick or anything. You know, you can just do whatever you want with your actual hands. I feel like that opens up a lot of mobility options. You might feel a lot more free because, you know, you could just do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. So, yeah. So, like I said, to sum it up, are they worth the price of? I'd have to put a picture of it. I don't actually know. So, yeah. Well, I feel like in the long run, for the sake of replacing multiple controllers, maybe, because I mean, if you're like replacing three sets of controllers, um, then that's probably more than just buying the gloves. So yeah, I feel like for the long run, it's probably worth it because they're very durable as well. All right, I low key forgot to mention this, so I'm adding it in now. The fucking haptics, okay? Are they cool? Does it add a lot? Does it, justify the price a little bit more? Yes. I actually think the haptics are a nice feature, especially when you're used to something like a controller that vibrates all the time in a somewhat heavy way. Most of the controllers have a pretty heavy haptic engine, but um yeah, it's very subtle. It's, in the electronic module, so it's pretty small rumble, and you're only gonna feel it on like the center of your hand right here. You're not gonna feel it in the fingers, but it's nice. It's there, when you're hovering through a menu or something, or you're clicking. It's yeah, it's a nice little touch, and I think it's very satisfying when you turn it on and off. That it does the like, you know, kind of like uh, gradient of intensity. But yeah, I think that it's pretty cool. It definitely drains the battery a little bit. And something I found cool that drains the battery, but is cool, is if you turn on Avatar Touch Haptics in VR chat settings. Anytime you're touching the bones or the I think it I think it goes off with a mesh, but it could be the bones. Whenever you're putting your hand on that, it will vibrate. And I think that's a pretty cool feature to have for something like VR chat, where I feel like a lot of people are buying these for, games like VR chat. What the fuck just happened to that camera? Alright, I don't know what happened. I must have accidentally clicked something. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Alright, so sorry for that atrocious mic quality. My other mic's being weird, and my other option would be to fucking hold my VR headset to my mic, or my mouth. So I'm using my headphone mic. Yeah, so I figured I'd do a little video on how to set it up. So it's pretty easy. You just turn it on. See? It turned on. Now I'm gonna open up the app. I gotta make this shit smaller. Low key. Wait, all we need is this. Alright, look. It just vibrated, so that means it connected. Yep, see, it already connected. And then the calibration, right? So we're gonna do this little funny animation, alright? So, oh wait, I put this on this side. Or I'll do it like this. Look, guys, I swear I know how to use OBS. Look, so we gonna do this. Just gonna follow the animation as good as you can. It's kinda hard to do what Lil Bro's doing, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Because it calibrates pretty well if you just do what it says. See, look at that, look at that. It's calibrating. It low-key knows what's up. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then to further do the stuff, you bind it, right? So right now this is trigger, see? B, this should be the B button. Yep, there you go. Pinky touch, apparently doesn't work. That's great. So, sometimes you gotta tune it, because your calibration is not the same every time. So I want this to be pinky touch, right? So you bind it. There you go. Grip, it's obviously this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can just bind any pose to whatever. And that's essentially it.
Bye. What am I doing, bro? I'm actually so cooked.
あげる可愛いだけど女の子なんて可愛くないでしょ何も知らない女の子